Most career advice starts from the wrong place. It starts with what you want to do. That question sounds helpful, but for most people, especially people who have spent years studying for government exams or doing jobs they didn't choose or watching others build online careers they don't fully understand, that question creates paralysis, not clarity. Because the real issue isn't that you don't know what you want to do. The real issue is that nobody ever showed you how to look at what you already have and translate it into something the market actually pays for. That's what this video is. Not inspiration, not a list of 10 jobs you can do from home. I'm going to show you a specific framework that takes your existing knowledge, your existing communication skills, your existing professional skills, instincts, and repositions them into a remote income track. And I'll be honest with you from the start, this will require work. It's not a shortcut. All right. But it's a shorter route than what most people are currently doing and currently on. So let's get into it. Here's what I see constantly: someone who has 3 to 7 years of work experience. They know how to communicate with clients, manage deadlines, coordinate between teams, handle documents, follow up on tasks. Now they're reliable, they're sharp, they're not lazy. But when you ask them what they do professionally, what their online profile says, what their portfolio shows, what they'd pitch to a remote employer or a client, it's either blank or it's generic. I'm a graduate, I have experience in administration, I'm looking for opportunities. That's not position, that's a waiting room. And the market doesn't pay for people in a waiting room. It pays for people who have identified a specific problem they solve for a specific type of person or business using a specific set of skills and have made that legible. Let me introduce you a term I constantly I use all the time. That's called skill legibility. Now, your skills are probably real. Your work ethic is probably real. But if they're not legible, if someone can't look at your LinkedIn, your profile, your first email to them, and immediately understand what you do and for whom, you are invisible. You're not unqualified, you are unreadable. And that's entirely fixable. I want to walk you through what I call the 3 layer positioning stack. Layer one is a skill inventory. Now, most people skip this step because they assume they already know what they're good at. They don't, or rather, they know, but they've never mapped it. Now, pull out a blank page. Write down every function you've performed in any job, project, or class, or self taught context. Not job titles, but functions. Things like writing and editing emails or reports, tracking tasks or managing timelines, coordinating between teams or clients, researching and summarizing information, entering, organizing, or analyzing data, right? Training or onboarding new people, creating presentations or documentation, customer or client communication. Now look at that list. These aren't basic skills. These are the operating layer of every professional organization on earth. Remote teams pay good money for people who do these things reliably and communicate well while doing them. Now, layer two is the market lens. Now, you take their inventory and you ask who pays for this, not who would hire me. That's too vague. I mean, what type of business, what type of private employer, or what type of remote employer, what type of online professional is currently spending money to solve the problem that your skills address? For example, if you're good at communication, documentation, following up on tasks, you're describing a virtual assistant or account coordinator role for a growing online business. That market exists, it's real, and it's hiring. Now, if you're good at research, writing, summarizing complex information, you're describing a content support or research assistant role. Now, freelance market, real clients, real money, right? Now, layer three is a positioning statement. This is the sentence that makes you legible. Okay, now the structure is I help type of person slash business specific outcome by specific method. This is a framework you got to follow. Let me give you some examples. I help online coaches manage their client communication and backend operations so nothing falls through the cracks. Let's look at one more example. I help small e-commerce brands stay organized during product launches by managing timelines, vendor communication, and documentation. Or let's look at this one. I help busy consultants turn their tough notes and meeting recordings into polished client reports. All right. These sentences are not fiction, they are translations. You are taking real capability and making it readable in the market language. Now that you have your positioning statement, here's what you do with it. Step one, you clean your digital presence. Your LinkedIn, any freelance profile, any professional blog you have anywhere needs to open with your positioning statement, not your job title or education history. Nobody hires you because of a BCom. They hire you because you can do something they need done. Lead with the outcome. Lead with the outcome you produce. Your education is supporting evidence, not the headline. Okay. Step two is build a one-page proof document. I'm not talking about a portfolio with case studies from years of client work because you may not have that yet. I'm talking about a single document that shows what you do, how you do, how you do it. An example of, let's say, your demonstration, or that can be self-created. It's all good. How to reach you. That's your credibility anchor. When you reach out to someone, you send this. It does more than 10 applications to job boards. Step three, go where decisions are already being made. Cold job boards are the worst place to start. You're competing with thousands. You're invisible. Instead, LinkedIn direct outreach to online business owners in your niche. Communities where your target clients hang out. Local business networks with remote needs. Referrals from people who already know your quality or your work. The goal is the first 30 days is not to land 10 clients. It's to have 10 real conversations with the right people. The number produces results far more reliably than 100 applications sent into a void. Here's the part most people won't tell you. The remote job market does not have a talent shortage. It has a legibility shortage. There are thousands of capable people who can't communicate, what they do clearly enough for a remote employer to trust them with that role. That's where the gap starts. And that's the actual gap. This means your competition, if you're willing to position yourself clearly and communicate professionally, is much smaller than you think. The people who are winning in this market are not always the ones who are most qualified. They are the most readable. They remove doubt before it forms. They answer questions before they are asked. They show up as professionals, not as applicants. That's a learnable behavior. And that's where we build. You start from there. Let me pull this together. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from an inventory, the three-layer positioning stack. Number one, map your skill inventory. Functions, not titles. Apply the market lens. Who pays for these functions? Write your positioning statement, one sentence that makes you legible. Then clean your digital presence, build a proof document, and go where decisions are made. This is not a 30-day transformation, it's a 90-day build. But if you execute these steps methodically, you will be in a fundamentally different position by the end of it. Now, if you want the full positioning framework as a worksheet, the link is in description. The next video in this series covers how to write professional outreach messages that actually gets responses, not generic LinkedIn messages, but structured communication that filters for the right clients from the beginning itself. If this one was useful, please do subscribe, not because YouTube said so, but because the next 5 videos in this series build on what we covered today, and they're worth watching in this sequence. I'll see you soon.